Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got this Singer 221-1. It's a featherweight, referred to as a featherweight sewing machine. Picked this up about 1.5 years ago, put it away, and decided it's time to work on it. I've got a lot of my other machines I've already gone through, and I did get the case with it. I just don't have it here in the shop because not much room. Got the foot pedal, the cord looks to be in good shape. I got the owner's manual, a couple of different needles in here. Original receipt from Singer, 1955. You can tell this is a 50s featherweight because straight up and down lines, not the scroll plate. I didn't research a serial number yet, but machine doesn't look too bad. One thing I'm real happy I got, I'm going to show you here. It came with this original motor lubricant. Now a lot of times people think, you know, this is junk, but it's not full of holes. And you take, this is a lead, I believe this is lead, this lead cap, and this container's lead. So if you want to try to get some out, just be really careful when you do this. There's a little trick you can do. Just be careful. You're playing with fire here. Take a lighter and just warm this up a little bit, because this lubricant is designed to flow as the motor gets warm. Okay, so if you're going to try to get 60-some-year-old lubricant out of this container, just warm it up a little bit and give it a little squeeze. And I already played around with this a little bit. I know that the lubricant's going to come out just like it is there. So I'll have original lubricant to put in the motor. And for right now, I'm just going to take the bottom of the cover off the machine and clean that up. So that'll be what I start doing here. I'm just going to set it back on these couple of napkins, paper towels I got here. You can see it's pretty obvious. Let me get back here and see what I'm recording. Okay, that looks good. These feet are shot. Those will have to be replaced. And let me show you in here something. Some people might not know that this is in here. Haven't done anything to this yet, so you're seeing it for the first time just like I am. But it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to just take a brush and clean all this up and some compressed air, blow it out, look everything over. Let me see if I can point out. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay, about there. I'll move the machine. Alright, let's see. Okay, right here, you're going to notice this. This is actually a counterweight. Some of the bigger machines, there'll be a thicker part on the hand wheel. The counterweight will be on the hand wheel. But with this machine, for some reason, I suppose they just didn't have room to put it there or something. So you want to make sure, if somebody's messed with this over the years, you don't know these machines are sold, that when the needle is all the way top dead center, your weight should be just over the center line this way a little bit, so that as that needle comes down, this weight is moving with it. More inertia to drive the needle through the fabric. A lot of people might not have known about that. Alright, so I'm just going to clean this up a little bit and then we'll continue. Alright, let me just show you how these come out. There's just one screw in the middle. This one was squished down really flat. You couldn't see the screw. I just took a utility knife. Just turn it counterclockwise. It'll come out. And you'll have to just take something, if you need to replace yours, and just kind of pry that out. You'll see a little recessed area there. It's just a small rubber foot. And since I've got this set up like this, let me just show you quickly where the oiling points are on the bottom of the machine. Okay, in this aluminum casting, you'll see a hole right here that will oil this shaft going through. There's one here, there's one right back here. You want to make sure you oil both ends of this shaft. This is on a little pin here that it rotates on. Same thing here, put a drop of oil there, a drop of oil here, a drop of oil on this joint, There's going to be another part back here you won't be able to see. It's the part that moves the feed dog up and down. Oil that. There'll be two back here on the back side. Don't miss those. And right here on this joint, and right here on this joint and this joint. And just basically move the hand wheel and you're going to see, you know, every place you have a pin with a hinge that's moving back and forth. Put a drop of oil on there. And I've already wiped this off. I'm not going to try to polish this up. I just want to get it cleaned up a little bit, because I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the motor out. Okay, I've got all the feet removed. I just put the screws back in for safekeeping, and I'm just going to keep one of these old feet. I'm going to just see if I can't go to the hardware store and source a rubber grommet that will fit the bill here to make new feet. If I can't, then I'll just go online and buy some actual featherweight feet. So we're going to take out the motor. So we have to start by, there's a screw in the side here that holds in the junction box. I did already loosen it up a little bit. Make sure you've got a good screwdriver while I make sure that you're still in the shot here. Okay, we are. Take out that screw that holds this junction box, and then come into your machine right here. You're going to see one screw with a little metal clip. Remove that one. After I get my hand out of the way, I'll show you what's going on here. Okay. Oh, I just dropped the screw in there, but I'll get that out here in a minute. There's a little cover. Take that off. Okay. Now you're going to see this is the lead tube that's leading the two wires up to turn the light on and off. You're going to have to get that out of the way. I'll leave that for a second. You got another clip right here and screw that's just holding the wires down. That go to the junction box. We'll take that guy out. And there's going to be another clip. This one's going to have a couple of bends in it, like so, and a little piece of paper behind it, just so it doesn't rub through the wires. Set all that aside, out of the way. And there actually is another little piece of metal back here. I've taken these apart before. I don't recall seeing this other piece of metal, but there it is. So remember the order those go in. And then we're going to have to gently bend this a little bit. And I'm going to pull the junction box out. And let me turn it here. Let's get... Alright, let me make sure we're still... Okay, you can still see what I'm doing. Turn this a little bit. You're going to want to pull this junction box out nice and easily, and just... There's some Bakelite caps back here. These just happen to be super tight. Okay, I got that one. There's going to be 3 of them. You're going to have to keep in order which wires go to which end of the terminal. We've got, let me turn this around. I've got that one off. Okay, I'm going to reposition the camera. Okay, I repositioned the camera. This is the one I just took off. It's marked with a 3 and it's red. Got 2 wires going to it on this side. Okay, the next one here in the middle, and then this one here. Let's get those all off. This one goes to the light switch and one side of the motor. This one here goes to the other side of the motor, and this one here goes to the other side of the light switch. And that goes, if I push that down right here. Okay, so that's the order they go in. Now there is only one screw located right here that's holding the motor on the machine. Find a screwdriver that will properly fit. If you're worried about hitting the paint here, just put a little bit of masking tape on there. And I know I did pre-loosen this one off camera just to save time. It wasn't that bad. It actually came loose pretty easily. So take this screw out carefully here. The only reason I'm taking this off is it'll make it a little easier for me to change the grease in the grease pots, since I have that tube of grease that came with the machine. And then you're going to want to real gently work those wires out of there. So I've got the motor loose, the one screw is out. These wires are going to be old. Hopefully they're in good condition on your machine. And you're going to just need to carefully wiggle these out through that hole. If the wires on your on the motor are in bad condition, this is something you might want to forego. But if the wires on this one are bad, I'll just replace them. So I'm not too worried about if wires crack. So this is fiddly because it's a 90-degree angle that you got to get all of this to come out of. And there it is. The motor is out of the machine. You might be wondering why I took it out. It's easier to clean this area out, to clean up the machine, and it will be easier for me to clean out these grease pots and put the new grease in. And yeah, for me it's just easier. It's not, I don't mind taking these out. These are the caps that hold the brushes in the motor. They are Bakelite. They're extremely brittle. Before you loosen these up, these don't even have to be any more than finger tight. They're not going to fall out. I just take and put 1 drop of sewing machine oil right on this edge. You don't want to get oil in there. You're going to contaminate the brushes. You just want enough on there so you can get this out, and then immediately wipe that oil off of there. Like the minute that's out, I can see there was just a tiny trace of oil that slid under there, so that would come loose. And there, I've got it all wiped up. It's perfectly dry because I am going to pull those brushes out and see what they look like. The brush should pull right out of there. Oh yeah, there's a lot of brush left, so somebody might have been in here in the past and put a new brush in there, or else it just hasn't been used that much and that's the original brush. That looks good. Happy to see that. That means when I put the new grease in the motor, she should run really nice. Alright, since I have the machine in this position here, let me just point out a few more things as we go along. I loosened up, there's one screw that holds this top cover with your spool pin. I loosened up and got it out of the way. But as you can see on this side, there's going to be 2 holes right here. You want to put oil in these holes. They are oiling the shaft that goes from the top. You can see the shaft, the gear train there in the bottom of the machine. They oil the shaft that goes from the top to the bottom. I'm giving away all my secrets. There you can see the gear there. You can tell this one hasn't been oiled for a little while because I can see this is dry, but who knows how long. This was put away in somebody's house and not used, so obviously the oil's going to evaporate away. I'm going to do a little more cleaning in here, and then we'll take this plate. Okay, let's take this face plate off. There's just this one thumb screw here, and see what it looks like inside. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, it actually doesn't look too bad in there. It's dry, but one thing you want to look at here is you got your upper tension here. Just set it to 5 and go ahead and lift up the lift lever here for the presser foot, and just make sure when this lever comes over that the tension discs loosen up, so when you go to pull your thread out, I'll just blow this out, clean it a little bit quickly here. Okay, since we've got this right here, I might as well point out when you go to oil in here, put a drop of oil down this hole where the needle bar is, right on top, and oil the needle bar right here. Put a drop of oil here, just so when the foot is moving, you can put a drop oil down there. There's a spring in there, and then all of the points back in here that go around. They'll actually have little oiling holes up here. You can oil all of those up, keep the machine running smooth. Alright, what we're looking at here is the hook on the bottom side of the machine. Goes round and around like this. I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit. But you can hear a little bit of rattly noise coming off of it right now. It's dry as can be. This needs a drop of oil on here because as this goes around and around, it needs a little bit of lubrication. And I already took the bobbin case out. That's right here. That would just snap in like that. I'm in the house with the motor. I'm just going to take a size 22 needle. It's got a scarf in the side of it, and I'm going to use that to just go into this grease port here and just gently work it around and try to capture as much grease as I can in that scarf. I've already been working on it a little bit. Now when you look at this, you can see here's the end of the grease port, and down to the shaft of the motor is that far. But as you're cleaning this out, just go slowly, and you're going to feel a little, if you push it in, it's going to bounce a little bit. There's a cotton wick. Well, I'm not sure if it's cotton, but there's a wick in here that the grease soaks into and then goes down to this bearing. So you're not going to scratch up the bearing or anything by doing it this way. Some people just use a tube, stick it in there, blow the tube out, keep doing that. This is getting the grease out, and I'm not going to scratch up the shaft or anything like that. I'll just keep working on that. Okay, I've got my original Singer grease here, and I warmed up the tip just a little bit. I can see the grease is going to come out real easy. I'm just going to put that in there and give it a little squeeze here. I'm going to just hold it away a little bit until I see it start to come out. And then what I'll do when I hook this motor up to power and run it a little bit and it starts to warm up, I'll just watch that. If that seems to move or I can get a little more in there, I'll do it at that time. I just took the brush out. You just loosen this cap like this. I pulled the brush out. I just wiped it off with a paper towel. Now when you put this back in, can you see how that's rounded from sitting against the shaft of the motor here, the armature? So you want to make sure you put that back in the same way, and there's a good, nice big chunk of carbon here, brush left, so this should last a long time. Then when you put this cap back on, just keep in mind this doesn't have to be super tight. You can tighten it till it stops with your fingers like that, and you're probably better off. If you take the screwdriver and bear down on this at all, you're going to chip this. Alright, I've got the grease pots filled with new grease, and I did take this back out to the garage and just clean it off a little more. There was a little bit of belt residue in here. Clean that out, blew it out. I have compressed air out in the garage. And then I have a rheostat hooked up to 120, so I just hooked the motor up to household current here, and I can go ahead and test it after I turn it on. machine sounds like it's running really good. I did clean off the brushes and put them back in, and I'm going to go ahead and back this off. It doesn't need to run full speed. I'll just let it run for a little bit, and I'm going to let it warm up. And I just want to keep eye on this grease and see if I can put a little more in there. So I think that's going to be it for this video. In the next video, I'll continue on working on the machine, show you how I go about cleaning certain parts of the machine, and show you how to put the motor back in. And then we'll just kind of take it one thing at a time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to come back and watch the next video. I should have that done in the next few days here.